Welcome to my channel. Mike Rondo here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're old to the channel, welcome as well. Tonight's Friday night. In tonight's video, but first let me get some of the pipe smoking stuff out of the way. In my favorite pipe, and I'm smoking Autumn Evening, which I think is appropriate. I almost went with Haunted Bookshop because of the tale that I'm about to tell. Which is about the Arnold Estate farmhouse, or as what most of you will probably know it as, the Conjuring House from the 2013 movie, which I saw, which I thought was alright, but I'm not doing a movie review. The creepiest thing about that whole movie was Annabelle, the doll, in the beginning. Ever since I seen Poltergeist as a kid, clowns and dolls just freak me out in horror movies, and even little girls or kids about, I don't know what, this high, 6, 7 years old, they always freak me out. That's one way to freak me out in a horror movie. But anyway, I don't know if it's from The Shining or Children of the Corn, I'm not sure, but kids just freak me out in horror movies because they're up to no good, to be honest. But tonight I thought I'd give my opinions on the Arnold Estate house, and it's an interesting thing because, well, now I'll leave links to things in regards to this house because it's supposedly the most haunted house in America. I think the East Penitentiary might be, in Pennsylvania or whatever, might be more haunted than this. I'm not sure if it is haunted. Now, I'm a skeptic. I don't believe in ghosts, although I am open-minded enough to know that, and I've had experience, I've shared my ghost story, that things happen and I'm not sure how to explain that. And I'm not sure, and I think some people are in a similar situation where you can't explain things. Now, full disclosure, I've never been to this place. Not yet. At some point I would like to go to give, and that might be next year. I might do that next year. And maybe I can con my friend Bob, who has his own YouTube channel, to come with me. That way, you know, if something's going to happen to me, at least he can record it and I can record it or something. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll do a collab, if you will, as the kids call it. But in any case, at some point I want to get there, and I'll get there. But so I'm taking it, you got to take it from a perspective of a skeptic who's had his own kind of experience where he can't explain something and hasn't been there. With that said, let's get into what I think, and I'm basing all my information off of things that I've seen online and read about and stuff, and which isn't a lot, but it's interesting, the stuff that you see. I know they had one clip for their evidence on the site, and the link will be down below. And I looked at it, I'm like, okay, what am I looking at? And I didn't see anything. I'll have to look at it again to be sure. But I was even thinking this, getting into doing this video tonight, and I'm thinking to myself, because I'm trying to, you know, the website, the couple that owns the place, that gives tours to it now, which you can go to, I think there was one video where they were talking or something like, something about experiences. You know, people have experiences, you can't kind of explain it unless you were there or whatever, and I kind of agree with them on that. So I was kind of thinking of, like, where am I going to go with this tonight? How am I going to give my thoughts on this? And I was thinking, all right, in my video, my ghost story video, I said, prior to that, we'd been going around looking for haunted places and stuff, and we knew the lore of the Cumberland Monastery. There's ghosts and such, and so that was in our minds going ahead. And so I'm thinking of this tonight. Is this the same thing? Like, if you know going in, it's supposed to be haunted, this, that, or the other, and you have these preconceived notions or whatever, and your mind's prepping itself to think these things, does that cause you to think you see things that aren't really there, or perceive things, so to speak? And that's always been my kind of thing with my ghost story that I told a few weeks ago. Is it the same type of thing? Now, perfect example of this is, now, unfortunately, I've spoiled this for the gentleman that I'm going to mention now, but Redcoat, a fellow YouTube pipe smoker, had I just taken him on a tour of this house, never mentioned the ghost stories or the Conjuring or anything like that, and we visited this house, and I just wanted to show him because this house was built in 1736, I believe it was, and I wanted to show him this house. This is like colonial America type stuff and blah, 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 before the country became a country. I wonder if he would get the heebie-jeebies. Like me going into it, I'd probably be creeped out a bit. I might not, though, because I went to Nellie Vaughn's and I had nothing. I didn't feel any creepiness or anything, but just peace. It was very peaceful. So I'm wondering if someone like myself or someone else who's into the paranormal or whatever and goes to these places and they already have it in their head, that maybe that's what causes them to think they see things or hear things. You know, they got all these doodads and gizmos to go ghost hunting, but how accurate is that stuff? I don't know. I gotta be honest, I really don't know. In any case, so the stories that are going on here are intriguing, and I would love to check it out at some point. Because back in 2013, when The Conjuring came out, you know, we had the couple that owns it now didn't own it, obviously, and there was a couple before that was getting people looking around and poking around and creeping them out and everything. It's probably why they sold it. You know, you couldn't go and visit it. But the previous owner before, the I can't remember the lady's name, her family that owned it, they say that they had all these spirits and experiences and stuff like that. So it's interesting. It's an interesting tale. For me, it's a matter of, I guess, what do you believe? I mean, again, I'm a skeptic. I don't believe in ghosts or things, but I know there are things that we can't explain. I can't explain my ghost story. So, I don't know. I guess when you go into these places with your preconceived notion of things, you got to kind of filter that out and kind of just, I don't know how you can do that. Like, how can you separate the two again? But in any case, I'll do a little thinking here. Now, from what I gathered, from the website and some of the stories, I don't see anything sinister as you see in The Conjuring, the movie. It seems more, I want to say, almost like my ghost, my monk story, where it's a presence there. Although I don't think they see any apparitions or anything like that. I think it's more like voices, objects moving, maybe some lights or whatever. But I don't know. I haven't been there yet, and I would love to check it out myself and poke around and see what I see. But I might do that next year. I've already planned a few things for next Halloween. Hopefully the whole world isn't in much chaos and I can do the things I want to do. I'd love to go to Sleepy Hollow, New York. So I got to thinking, and even a skeptic as myself, now I'm not claiming this with the owners at all, that this is their motive. It's smart on them, because I'm all for capitalism, and if, you know, you buy the house and you want to make a buck or two because it's kind of a tourist attraction and people want to go see it and check it out and are curious, well then hell, do it, right? So, if they even charge. I don't know if they charge or whatever. I didn't get that far into the thing. So, he might not. So, full disclosure, I don't fault them for that or anything. But, you know, it's kind of, if you're a businessman, I'll take it from that side of the coin. Well, yeah, you're going to say it's haunted because you want people to come and make a buck. But I don't think that's the motives of the owners at all. And I don't even know if they charge, if they do. I know you can book an appointment. I don't know if you can just go and check it out or whatever, but they seem like nice people. And I'm sure they got stories to tell, which would be interesting. I know they were talking in one video where they were talking about a witch. She supposedly murdered children or something like that in one video. And I didn't get to finish that before I came out here tonight, but that got me intrigued. But that's the skeptic side of me thinking, because you got to eliminate all the motives of why people would say it's haunted, so to speak. That doesn't mean that they're not genuine or whatever, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, but then the curiosity side of me is like, okay, people experience things, and you don't know what they could be. So you got to kind of figure it out for yourself. You got to kind of go and experience it. But my thoughts, it does look a little creepy. Because it's back to it looks like the old colonial type of house that you would think, the farmhouse or whatever. It's wood now. It's not, I know in the 70s, the woman that lived there before, I guess it was all sided and all that stuff and more modernized. But the outside looks like it probably did back in the 17 whatever. So you kind of get again, those preconceived notions going into it. You freak yourself out. Which I always assume most ghost hunters or paranormal people do. They kind of freak themselves out. Not that I wouldn't freak myself out. I got to tell you, you go to creepy places, you freak yourself out. I do it. I don't claim to be brave when you go to these places, because you see all those horror movies as a kid or an adult, and all these stories, and you get it in your head. Your mind starts playing tricks on you. So that's my biggest thing with all of this. Is it more of a mind thing than anything else, or is it actually something there? I wish there was something there. I wish, I'd love to experience something. If I went there and, just like my monastery story, something happened, I'd be like, huh, well, that's interesting. That's going to take a lot of tobacco and pipes to ponder and think about what my experience was, what I thought, what I saw. But if you're in Rhode Island, go to Harrisville, Rhode Island, and check out the house. Maybe I'll go with you, and we'll investigate together. But it is interesting, all these haunted places you can find around. Again, I guess you could say it's like a gold mine of haunted stuff, if you want. And it's funny, because growing up, you hear about it, then you kind of just be an adult and you get on with your life, and then you kind of forget about it. And then you start a YouTube channel, and you love Halloween, and you get back into it, and you're like, oh, wow, we got a lot of rich history with stories and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Definitely worth checking out Rhode Island for ghost stories and whatnot. And but this is probably the most famous haunted spot in Rhode Island, and I don't think it was prior. I could be wrong on this. The paranormal people that watch this video probably say, no, Mike, we all know about this. I'm sure you did in your small circles, but I'm saying, as a community, as Rhode Island, not many people knew about it until The Conjuring came out, and everyone's like, oh, by the way, Harrisville, Rhode Island, that's the farmhouse, by the way. And then everyone kind of knows about it now. So I like personally the smaller stories, like my monk story. Nobody knows about that but me. I'm sure there's other stories, I suppose, of monks floating around at the monastery there. I haven't heard any of them other than my own experience and my friend that was with me that night. Not many people have said, oh, hey, by the way, I shared this experience too. I'm not saying that there hasn't been, but it's very curious. I wish I had a camera that night. It would have been, if I only had my video camera. Hopefully it would have picked it up. But anyway, that's going to do it tonight. I'm going to finish up my autumn evening, chill out by the fire here, relax, contemplate more on ghost stories and ghosts and whatnot. But definitely an interesting house. The couple seems very down to earth and interesting. They probably have a lot of stories, I'm sure, in the short period of time they own the house. And it's pretty cool that it inspired a franchise, basically, with The Conjuring and stuff. That's pretty cool, from Little Rhode Island. But again, I'm skeptical. I am skeptical, but I do believe people experience things that they just can't explain, like me. And you might never get that explanation. Like, you could have, well, for instance, I may be skeptical, but maybe say I believe what happened with me. I was 100%, yep, that's what happened. I saw it clear as day, which I did, blah, 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 blah. But you get some other expert who come in, and they could pick apart your story or just not believe you. But you do believe it, and you experience. So I get what they were saying on the video, that point. But in any case, definitely check that out. Check out The Conjuring. It was an okay movie. I didn't think it was that great. Annabelle scared the crap out of me. So I didn't watch Annabelle, and I won't watch Annabelle. Not one for dolls. Well, clowns. Clowns are another thing I don't like. Wow, I'm telling you all this information. Now you know how to scare me. But that's it. That's it for the video. I'm gonna head out of here. I just wanted to give a few thoughts on the Arnold Estate. Interesting story, and I'm sure there's a lot of stories that are there that I should probably talk about, and maybe I'll find out, and maybe next year's video I'll get a little more of a deeper dive, because I'll actually go there and check it out. But anyway, I've rambled on long enough on a Friday night. I'm out of here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow.